Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ben Jordan. I'm Scoutmaster at Troop 137 there out of Laramie, Wyoming. And that's the home troop for Jason and for Mr. Scott as well. And we'd like to say thank you for being here. And we will actually start with the presentation of the colors.
Will be assembled with brass. Color guard forward march. Scott salute. Color guard, please pose the colors. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On my honor,
I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
as Scout
As trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
two.
Thank you. You all can be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Jason Ricks, the pastor of the Emmis Road Community Church and a Scott family friend, to come up and offer our invocation.
Let's pray together. Father, we praise you for who you are and for your grace upon each of our lives. We also praise you for Jason and for this special day to celebrate his life and his accomplishments. Thank you for your faithfulness in shaping him to be the outstanding young man he's become. And thank you for guiding his steps and helping him achieve the distinguished honor of Eagle Scout. Thank you for Todd, Tammy, and Megan, as well as the rest of their family, who have loved, supported, and encouraged him along this long journey. Thank you for the Scout leaders and for his fellow Scouts who have walked beside him and invested in his life over the years. We pray for your blessings to be upon each of them. Remind them of the significant impact they make in the lives of so many. Again, God, we thank you for this opportunity to celebrate Jason and his accomplishment. We ask you for your favor to be upon him and upon our time together this afternoon. We pray this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Alrighty, so the Scott family would like to say thank you again for being here this evening. We are very happy to have his, wow, you guys are holding hands. That's cool. Mom and Dad are back there, Todd and Tammy are holding hands. We also have his sister with us this afternoon, Cat Drift Everstuck, I think is her name. You're right. Not supposed to do inside jokes, but I have to share this with you. We were up here, thank you, Table and Loader and the staff let us use this fine facility. We like to go skiing once a year up at Snowy Range. And we had a particularly crazy snowstorm and a lot of wind. And Megan was going to be able, that's his sister's name, Megan, was going to be able to join us on Saturday morning, and she brought the family van up. And it is four-wheel drive, which is great for getting around in the snow. Unfortunately, the wind had blown enough, the snow was about this deep. And she comes toddling up to the basement here where you can eat and such. And she says, I'm stuck. And so Dad and I went down and looked, and she had managed to ramp up and over and settle down, and the tires weren't touching anything except snow. And that was when Hunger Games had first come out. So we were trying to think of a smart aleck name, and so we called her Cat Drift Everstuck. That was the Dr. Bove special. So anyway, we're also able to be joined by Mrs. Scott, Jason's paternal grandmother. Unfortunately, Rich was not able to join us. He's recovering in Virginia, right? From bypass surgery. We also have Elaine and Dennis Easton, maternal grandparents, and we're not able to be joined today by Ken and Dee Dee Geitzen, but they're certainly thinking about us today. And so, with that, would our honor guard please bring Jason to the front? here. Did you bring your scout book? I bet it's downstairs, isn't it? Oh, man. All right. The next thing on our agenda is, we practiced that well. The next thing on the agenda is, what does it mean to be an Eagle Scout? What does it take to get to where Jason is sitting today up front, in front of all of us? And, you know, every scout has similarities and every scout has differences. Jason joined Troop 137 how many years ago?
4 years.
Doesn't seem like that long ago, but I tell you what, he's gone from a wee below, which is the last step in Cub Scouts. He was about this tall, 10 and a half years old, just earned the Arrow of Light. That's a little patch on the bottom of his uniform shirt you can look at later. You know, kind of cute, kind of innocent, to where he is today. I'm just amazed looking at these guys. They all have grown so much. And they joined as a scout. And the first thing that happened when Jason joined was you have a Scoutmasters conference. And the Scoutmaster explains the differences between Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. Cub Scouts, the adults do all the work. In Boy Scouts, the burden gets put on the young men to kind of make their own way, to say, I need this in order to advance. So then they learn about things like camping, they learn about cooking, they have to pitch their own tents. First aid is very, very important, as well as citizenship training, how to properly conduct a flag ceremony so that we can be good citizens, and certainly a good amount of community service, like our scouts every year wind up participating in the Laramie Cleanup Day. We've helped with several projects with the clothing cottage. And so as they progress, then they have to undergo a Scoutmaster conference. That's where they talk to the old man. And he winds up talking about what does it mean to, thank you. What does it mean as you progress? And if he passes the Scoutmaster conference, then he has to do one more terribly frightening thing for some young men, and that is participate in a border review. And the border review is made up of a troop committee. In the troop committee, they have 3 to 5 adults, and that young man has to actually call the head of the troop committee advancement group to say, I need a scout or a border review. That's a tough thing for a young man that's 10 and a half, 11 years old to do. And they talk through what, how their progression is going through the troop and make sure the Scoutmaster isn't just signing off the book. But here's Jason's tenderfoot page with all these signatures. Second class is the next rank. Again, a little bit harder for this young man to achieve, but more camping, more citizenship, more skills development, a whole lot more first aid. They have to do a little bit of swimming. You never know when those swimming skills will come in handy. First class, boy, it's starting to get even tougher. This whole set of rank requirements right here, the young man has to come up with a menu for a full weekend of meals. Then he has to figure out how much portioning they have to do for the proper number of you. They have to price it out. And we don't tell moms about this, because if we told moms that this was the requirement, then they might expect them to do this at home. But then they also have to make sure that they have the right utensils, the right cooking gear, the right condiments. How many of you guys have eaten eggs without salt and pepper? Or pancakes without syrup and butter? So anyway, then they actually have to prepare the meal with assistance, and finally, they have to lead grace before that meal is served. And that's a pretty tough set of requirements. It's almost like a little miniature Eagle project. They also have to demonstrate leadership by teaching others scouting skills. And again, go through a Scoutmaster conference and a border review. Things change dramatically for the next rank. Well, these are all the requirements for first class in Jason's book. Here's Star. And there aren't quite so many, there's my voice changing. They have to earn merit badges. There are 21 merit badges required. 13 of those you have to earn, and then there's electives that they can pursue. The requirements include camping, first aid, cooking, yes, that's a new one, as of about a year ago. Citizenship in the community, citizenship in the world, citizenship in the nation, personal management. We're very blessed to have a professor of economics and such that helps us with personal management. The scout has to achieve certain financial goals and learn how to properly save and invest money. Personal fitness, they have to track their personal fitness goals for 90 days. Family life, develop family plans on how to make chores happen and that sort of thing. They also have to earn swimming, hiking, or cycling. Which one did you do? Cycling, yeah, the Mickelson Trail, what a fun trip. Our guys do 110 miles. They're getting ready to start off on that again this summer and bike a long, long ways, but they have a blast doing it. Let's see, we have to do emergency management or emergency preparedness as well as others. There are 133 merit badges right now, if I count correctly, that the Scouts offer, and the electives they can choose. Some of these might lead to hobbies that are long-lasting, or perhaps even to a career in the future. They also have to serve for 4 months in a leadership position, and that can be tough. The hardest leadership position in all of Scouting is patrol leader. You try hard getting 8 Scouts to go the same direction when you're 12 years old. Quite an insurmountable thing, seemingly sometimes. But with practice, these young men tend to achieve very well. Life rank is the very next rank. Another set of merit badges they have to pass off, a board review, another series of leadership skills that they have to develop, as well as trying to serve the community. And finally, what most Scouts hope to achieve, here is Jason's Eagle Rank book, and it's actually signed in all the appropriate places. Oh, it's not. I'm sorry, his board review page is not signed off. No, I'll see you all later. Seriously, dude, you gotta go get this signed. But he did pass the board review. So Jason wound up completing all his merit badges. How many did you earn all told? 29 merit badges. So he went above and beyond. He carried out a service project for the Laramie's Clothing Cottage. They have a room there on the west side that sometimes can be a little difficult to navigate with all the donations that pile up, and it wasn't very well organized. And so as the Clothing Cottage was looking for opportunities for improvements, they said, hey Jason, can you repurpose some tables, and can you help us build shelving units to hold these heavy totes of clothes so that we have room for a break area and we could better organize our space? And Jason certainly did that, and they were very happy. I still get phone calls occasionally from the Clothing Cottage director about how happy she is with the work the Scouts have done. So, not only did Jason do all of these things, but he also had to live up to the Scout Oath and Scout Law. And that's certainly a very important part of being an Eagle Scout. This afternoon, right after we said the Pledge of Allegiance, you heard our young men repeat the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. And they have to demonstrate that in their everyday life, that they live up to those ideals that we all follow. So, with that, I'd like to invite a speaker to come up and speak on behalf of Jason. Dr. Beauvais, are you ready? All righty. Dr. Beauvais is one of our assistant scoutmasters. He works primarily right now with our younger guys, and just a very talented individual, a very understanding guy. We're really happy to have him. So, Dr. Beauvais.
Thank you. Well, this is quite the honor. As I was telling Jason just a little bit ago, I certainly remember him in the blue shirt in the Cub Scouts. Again, my name is Gary Beauvais. My son Adam is in Troop 137. We joined the troop about a year after Jason came up. And you know, this past weekend we had what's called the Spring Camporee, and we had a bunch of these guys up at a big spring camp where there's troops from Cheyenne, troops from Laramie up there. And I remembered, I think the first official Boy Scout event that we did with Troop 137 and with Jason and Todd was up at the Spring Camporee, Pine Bluffs. It was out in Pine Bluffs. And we knew these guys at that point. But you know, when you first join a troop, it's just this blizzard of names and people, and you're trying to keep everybody straight, and you're trying to figure out who's who. And I thought that I had it, and I remember, and Adam, you probably remember at the campfire program that night, they were calling out names for the Order of the Arrow, which is the Camping Honor Society in Boy Scouts, and your troop has to elect you to be a member of Order of the Arrow. And they would call out the troop number, and they would call out the names of who was elected, and this is leaders as well as scouts. And I thought, okay, I know these guys. And they said, well, Troop 137 and so, and Troop 137, this person is now called out for the OA. And then they called out Troop 137, Ted and Jose Scott. And I thought I had these names down. But you gotta understand, these are scouts reading these names by the campfire light, and it's poor light, and it's late at night, and Ted and Jose, it never stuck. I thought for sure he'd be Jose forever, but you're just not a Jose. We actually knew these guys by that point pretty well because Jason and my daughter compete on the local gymnastics team, and it's been really fantastic to watch Jason mature through that process as well as through scouting. And when I look at there, he's as you all know, a very gifted athlete. But he's competing in an individual sport. He has teammates, but of course his achievement in gymnastics is based on his own skills. But he's not one of these guys that goes on and succeeds and is all about himself. He's really turned around in gymnastics and has applied a lot of the leadership skills that he's learned in scouting. Taking care of the younger guys on the team, providing leadership in the gymnastics meet. It's really, it's no surprise that an athlete like that is a scout. And it's been a real privilege. So, shake your hand. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug. Is Mom ready?
Well, as ready as I'm gonna be, isn't it?
All righty.
Are my notes up here? No, they're not. On the chair? Well, we'll hang out because I'm not doing it.
We're sitting in the chair.
They were up here originally.
Oh, Adam took them. That's the oldest and shortest joke. The oldest and shortest joke had to do with fleas and the first man. Adam had them. Adam had your notes.
Good one. Thank you, Gary. I feel like I'm missing a title on the program because I'm in between Dr. Bove and Dr. Middlestat, and I'm not a doctor. And I wanted to put on the program, not a doctor, Tammy Scott, but I was overruled. I don't have my doctorate per se, but since that requires extreme knowledge of a subject, I propose that I have an MD, a motherate doctorate, motherhood doctorate, because I am schooled in the topic of all things Jason. In all seriousness, I want to thank Jason for asking me and giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about him. I am honored to have the chance to share a few things. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So you might have noticed and wondered why Todd isn't the one up here, because many of you who know how much this means to Todd. But that's why he's not personally up here, because he's known since Jason was a Cub Scout that this would be really emotional for him to do. And so you'll hear from his heart in a little bit in a letter to Jason. But it remains to be seen whether I will hold it together. I'm either going to run through this really stoically or I'll be a bowling mess. So we'll see. When Jason asked me to speak, he said he wanted me to have a topic. And I think it's because he was afraid I'd get up here and start telling cute baby stories. Anyway, I wasn't sure what he had in mind, but I suggested the first thing that came to my mind when I think about Jason and I think about the realm of leadership and what it takes to be an Eagle Scout, and that's character. And I may be biased, but I think it's impossible to think of Jason without thinking about the kind of incredible character that he has. You can see the Scout Law on the back of your program, and it lists character traits like trustworthy, loyal, hopeful. I can look at each one of those words and think of examples that exemplify Jason. But I just want to talk about you. I know this is hard to have this whole ceremony just about you, focused on you, but I hope that it will prove to be a special memory. intensity and capacity of character that melted my heart. And it was noticed by anyone around you and anyone who listened to my stories about you. Since you were really young, you've had the ability to sense and know what I needed most, and it was almost always that. And you were always willing to give it, and I appreciate that so much. And when I'm stressed out, which is rare, you're one of the first to come alongside me, and quietly and compassionately give me one of the best hugs in the world. You have no idea how much that means. And I know you're thinking right now, what does this have to do with character, Mom? But it does, because it shows your heart. And being a man of character is not about following the rules, especially in front of other people. It's about the heart of a man and what he does that comes naturally. Your dad has been an incredible example. And I'm sorry, you've grown into your own person, deserving acknowledgement of your character. You are compassionate, even though you think you're not. And you have it in your heart, which I so admire. You have a work ethic that every parent wishes their child had. One of Jason's chores at home is to clean and pick up the basement and the living room. The ironic part, and I'm sure the very frustrating part to him, is that he is the only one in the house that doesn't have anything to pick up. But he does it anyway, even if he might be grumbling inside. But I also want to acknowledge what an outstanding student Jason is. You might have read his little bio in the program, and I didn't even realize until after it was printed that it has a gaping hole, and that's about his academic prowess. I think that's because it's such a part of him so naturally, and it always has been. And his sister too, by the way, who forged a path for him. You have been an incredible role model to him, and we're both really proud of both of you. So we sometimes forget about things that are just natural in them, but LHS started awarding academic letters last year for the first time, and Jason earned his academic letter as a freshman and will again as a sophomore. He balances 10 hours a week now at gymnastics, plus he now plays on the varsity tennis team, all while maintaining a 4.0. How does he do that? He works hard. He plans, he prepares, and he stays up late way too often, which I'm afraid might be an example for me, which isn't a good one. Like I said, he works hard. It doesn't hurt that he's just naturally brilliant, too. Jason will do what it takes to get things done and to do them well. What's really cool about Jason is that he's not one-dimensional. He's not just a good student. He's also a dedicated athlete, as many of you already know. Aside from the ribbons and medals that he's earned over the last 8 years, every one of which I was excited for and proud of. The ones that mean the most to me are the ones that speak to his character. I think the awards Jason has earned reflect who he is well, and would be some of the same ones that I would get. Right off the bat, 3rd grade competitive season, at the end of the season, he was awarded Best Work Ethic. And not just once, but 3 times in the last 8 years, he was awarded that. Showing how hard he works, he was honored as the most improved gymnast, which goes by what their scores were from the beginning to the end. He earned that twice. He also earned twice, like 13 and 14, most inspirational. He's qualified for regionals every single year since he started competing, and only didn't go 1 year when he was injured. And that's not easy. He qualified the very first year that he was a competitive gymnast, and that just isn't natural. I mean, it's not natural, but it doesn't happen for everybody. It took hard work. But finally, the coaches this year awarded Jason the title of team captain of the boys team. This is an award that they've not given out for many years, and it makes me so happy and proud. That as a sophomore, he's been acknowledged for his hard work, his loyalty and dedication, not just as a gymnast, but as a team leader. As Gary said, in a sport that's seen as individual, he truly cares about his team, encouraging them and mentoring them, and now even coaching the younger boys. And for all these things, Jason had to show up, work hard, and apply himself. And that's what he does every single day, in every single thing that he attempts. It isn't hard to think about what makes Jason a person of character. What's hard is not hijacking this event and telling you everything that makes him a man of character. But you all know this already. Many of you have watched him grow up. You've been there for many years. Observing his growth. So thank you. And actually, I'm going off script, but I want a picture of this. So will somebody come up and take a picture of that? Will you? Can I have your phone? Grandma, you stay there. I'm sorry, but I need all of you guys. Okay, squeeze in. This is way off script. Okay, we're gonna have to do two. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're all the way yourself. Sorry, way off script, but maybe it's not the stuff there. Anyway, thank you for being a part, an important part of Jason's life and an example to him, because you all are. You're here. I can't look out and see one person that's not important and an example to him, and it means so much that you're here. Every one of you matters on this journey, on his trail to Eagle and beyond. My heart is so full when I think of the boy that he was and the man that he's becoming. I'm so proud of you. And now
Very good. It's hard, it's very hard to hold your phone. To talk about your own kids sometimes, and we're all proud of you. Thank you very much for that. As Mrs. Scott alluded to, she did ask, or Mr. Scott asked for a proxy this afternoon, and Dr. Middlestat, who was one of our troop committee members and was actually on Jason's board of review for Eagle, right?
sign the book.
Yes.
Come up here and sign the book, please. I've got a pen. Come on up. Dr. Middlestat will say a few things about Jason as well. Oh, you weren't, you're on Jack's, that's right. Okay, we actually had two. Right. Eagle Board of Review, that's right. Dr. Waldron can vouch for it. We'll get that afterwards. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is John Middlestat, and I am a member of the committee, the troop committee of Troop 137. The structure, for those of you who are not familiar with Boy Scouts, we have a scoutmaster and we have assistant scoutmasters whose job it is to assist the boys in running the troop, and it is the role of the committee to provide guidance and support to our scoutmasters and to the boys, and to show up on Monday nights and wear our uniforms and be prepared to do whatever is asked. 3 weeks ago, I showed up from the meeting, and Ted asked if I would read some notes that he had about Jose. And he explained to me that this was necessary because he gets a little verklempt in these kinds of situations. It did not seem at the time to be appropriate to tell him that I'm a crier.
Kindred spirits.
But one of the things that we learn in Scouts is that being brave means not being, doesn't mean you're not afraid, it means that you're afraid and you do it anyway. It is with some trepidation, the words of my good friend, Todd Scott, about his son. And so Jason, this is your father speaking. I'm merely a vessel for this. First, I want to apologize to Jason and all in attendance today. I would have liked to have read this myself, but I'm extremely proud of Jason, and those who know me well know that I get very emotional. And who doesn't? It would take me a few hours to be able to go through this 5-minute speech, and I have instructions to keep it short. Jason, it has been one of my greatest joys to see you grow through scouting and exemplify the Scout oath and law in your daily life. You had such exuberance for Scouts when you started as a Tiger Scout 10 years ago. As an assistant leader for your den, I got to see firsthand how much you enjoyed the projects, selling popcorn, the day camps at Camp Jack Michael. And then, as your Webelos leader, I watched as you earned all 20 activity pins and went on overnight trips to Jack Nickel, where you and I got to live as young boys dream, shooting BBs, arrows, and paintballs from wrist rockets. We bonded while sleeping outdoors in a tent, participating in campfire skits and many other scouting activities. Then you crossed over into Boy Scouts. Only a couple of your previous Scout friends came with you, but you got to meet a whole new group of mostly older boys. You went on monthly campouts, including your first Boy Scout campout, a camporee. This is a large campout consisting of many troops from the surrounding area coming together and competing in various scouting activities and skills and challenges. The first one was your first overnight campout without your dad. And I'm sure it was harder for me to not be there than it was for you. You went to summer camp twice at Laramie Peak and once at Benda Latour Scout Range, where you earned numerous fun merit badges, including canoeing, archery, riflery, pioneering, first aid, camping, wood carving, leather work, and many others. And while there, we both got to try zip lines and mountain boarding, where I caught an epic picture of you in mid-air right before a crash. And that photo is right over there. The bandages are not. They have been disposed of. We had ice cream bars at the trading post, experienced more campfire skits, wildlife sightings, Scout songs, and dining hall food. You participated in a survivor-themed competition at another camp where you took 3rd place out of all 100 or so boys, many who were older than you. Part of what helped you win was there were points. I'll just step out and say there were points for different kinds of things that you had to collect. I'm looking at my son, he was part of the collection team. And part of what helped you win was collecting a lot of dried meadow muffins. Some not so dry, if I remember correctly. They changed the point system after that year. We spent a night in a snow cave that we dug ourselves at Mr. Jordan's cabin, and another night at Yellow Pine in an almost snow cave, which was more a snow hole with a tarp over it due to the lack of snow. You've built and ridden on sleds for Klondike derbies, been on ski trips, and earned the Frost Point Award for sleeping in below freezing temperatures, totaling a cumulative 100 degrees below zero. It is, I will say, the only patch in scouting I hope to never earn. We hiked to the top of Elk Mountain and had quite an adventure coming down. This is where we learned how to or not to handle a very stressful and possibly life-threatening situation. We rode our bikes over 100 miles in 4 days on the Nicholson Trail, and you with what we didn't know at the time, a broken kneecap. It was hard with kneecaps that worked. You sold thousands of dollars worth of popcorn and served hundreds of pancakes, and I flipped thousands on the grill on Shrove Tuesday to raise funds for your troop. You've helped on many service projects, including a few Laramie cleanup days, fish stocking at Pole Mountain, a Laramie soup kitchen, a couple of Good Samaritan fun runs, amphibian and moose counts, and at least 3 other Eagle projects. Speaking of Eagle projects, I am so impressed with how you led your project from the beginning to end, building shelving for the Clothing Cottage. Boys would come to me and ask me a question about what to do, and I told them it was your project and that they would have to ask you. You stayed calm and gave direction, and the project was completed faster than anticipated, which rarely happens. You were elected to and went through initiation in the Order of the Arrow in a very interesting silent weekend working camp out. There are a lot of rules there, we won't explain these. Jason, I cannot express how proud I am of you and all that you've accomplished in running through Scouting. You are truly trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I couldn't be more proud of the young man that you have become. I anxiously look forward to the many great things that you will do and accomplish going forward. I am so honored to be here as you are awarded your Eagle rank and to be able to say that you are my son. I won't tell you that he says he loves you, Chris. I'll just say one other thing, I'll take a point of personal privilege, and that is, this is not an event, this is not a culmination, but this is a passage. And for the rest of your life, people will ask you, were you an Eagle Scout? And you will say, no, I am.
Eagle Scout families will often send off to various governmental elected officials for letters of commendation and support. And Jason has 3 of those. Matthew, did you have one of them to read? Would you please come forward? This is Dr. Middlestack's oldest son. He's about this tall and cute. I mean, about that tall and the girls like him.
A little bit more hair than my dad.
That's cool.
I have a letter from Cynthia Lummis. It reads, Dear Jason, congratulations on earning the Eagle Scout Award. This outstanding accomplishment is a sign of your dedication and commitment to scouting, community service, and higher education. I'm aware of the rigorous requirements and hard work it takes to earn the rank of Eagle Scout. It is evident by the many merit badges you have earned while demonstrating your leadership abilities, service to our country, and outdoor skills that you are deserving of this prestigious award. Thank you also for your Eagle Scout project, designing and building shelving for the Clothing Cottage at St. Matthew's Episcopal Church. You have distinguished yourself and joined the ranks of respected men such as Neil Armstrong, the first man to step foot on the moon, Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, and our very own Senator Michael Enzi, who have earned this award since it was established in 1911. In the coming years, the skills you have learned about scouting citizenry, character development, and personal fitness are sure to remain an important part of your life. Again, congratulations on earning the Eagle Scout Award. You and your family deserve to be proud of the significant benchmark. Sincerely, Cynthia M. Lummis.
Eric Van Wig, another of our troop members, has a second letter that he'll read for us.
So this is from Senator Enzi. It reads, Dear Jason, congratulations. What a tremendous honor it is for you to earn your Eagle Scout Award. You can and should take great pride in this accomplishment throughout your life. You have passed through the ranks of scouting, meeting the challenging Eagle Scout requirements, showing the perseverance necessary to complete them. You are a demonstrated leader. You did it. Scouting means a great deal to me. As an Eagle Scout myself, I know the difficult path you traveled to achieve this high honor. I have great memories of the journeys that led us both to dedicate ourselves to the Scout Open Law and to heed the call of the Eagle Scout charge and challenge. Scouting has helped me to make lasting friends over the year. My roommate and best friend in college is an Eagle Scout. The ambassador to Kuwait during the Desert Storm War. Former President Gerald Ford, another Eagle Scout, shared with me what the award meant for him. My son is an Eagle Scout, and we have many adventures together working on Scout badges. My son-in-law is also an Eagle Scout. I encourage you to maintain the principles and integrity of an Eagle Scout service throughout your lifetime. More than ever, I recommend you to talent and leadership qualities of young men like you. Continue your learning experience. You will find that the resulting changes and rewards in the quality of your life will be most valuable. You will always get back more than you are able to give. Here in the Senate, 10 of our 100 members are Eagles. Thad Cochran of Mississippi, Mike Crapo of Idaho, Jeff Sessions of Alabama, Sherrod Brown of Ohio, Lamar Alexander of Tennessee, Jeff Merkley of Oregon, Mike Lee of Utah, Patrick Toomey of Pennsylvania, Gary Peters of Michigan, and I all gained a lot from our Eagle experience. I know I will hear more of your continued success, as Eagle Scouts challenge themselves by demanding more of themselves than anyone else could ever imagine. That is why you will continue to be an asset to your school, to your community, and to your state throughout your life. Congratulations on a job well done, a future well started. Sincerely, Michael B. Enzi.
I believe Bradley Walburn, you have a letter as well. While he's walking to the front, everybody do this. Finger up, please. Point it at Bradley and say, "Get your eagle." Get your eagle. Thank you. Your dad did not put me up to that. He is a little bit of a merit badge, and you finished your Eagle Project application paperwork, so he's that much away from earning Eagle and getting the life badge off his shirt. Now, can you read that still? Or are you mad at me?
Okay, so this is from Governor Matt Mead. Dear Eagle Scout Scott, congratulations on attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. This is an outstanding achievement that requires hard work and dedication. Your time and effort devoted to achieving this highest rank in Boy Scouts is commendable. I am certain that your friends and family are very proud of you. I would like to add my congratulations to theirs. May achieving this goal as Eagle Scout be only the beginning of many other goals and achievements accomplished throughout your life. Congratulations and best wishes for the future. Sincerely, Governor Matt Mead.
In addition to receiving, I should have put a table up here. I'll drop this and be really embarrassed. In addition to receiving the letters of commendation, Jason has received a flag flown over the Capitol building of the United States. You know, that's one of the most demanding governmental jobs, is they sit there for hours each day raising and lowering flags over the Capitol building. Seriously, it's a never-ending deal. So Jason, this flag was flown at the request of Cynthia Lummis, member of Congress, and it was flown over the Capitol building on April 13th, 2016, so shortly before you received your Eagle. And then from the state of Wyoming, on behalf of Governor Mead, this flag was also flown on April 16th over the Wyoming State Capitol building. And so these are mementos that you can cherish in memory of today and all of your service for the people of Laramie. So, now I get to talk for a minute. Oops. Like I said, I needed that table. Mr. Scott, could you please come over here by the U.S. flag? And we have a number of Eagle Scouts in the audience, I believe. If you are an Eagle Scout, could you come up here and stand over behind Jason? That includes you, Jackie, past your board review. Right over there behind him, kind of, don't glare too much, but just a little bit. Jason, Senator Enzi mentioned the Eagle Charge, and it's my pleasure to give that to you. You today join millions, actually just over 1 million Eagle Scouts that have earned this award since 1912. And it's something that shouldn't be taken too lightly. Because with this honor comes a certain amount of responsibility. Your dad, I really appreciate all that he has done for Troop 137. You know, I knew he was an Eagle Scout. He actually gets to wear it today to the Court of Honor. He has palms on here that says that he went a little bit above and beyond. Now I'm off script. But I really appreciate everything Mr. Scott's done, because as I have gone camping with him, he's been a real stalwart individual. I could always count on him to do the right thing, to never shirk responsibility. And it shows that he's an Eagle Scout. As an Eagle Scout, you will always be an Eagle Scout, and others will expect much of you. Jason, as you look at this badge that you have that we'll pin on you momentarily, the foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character that your mother mentioned in her talk. He knows that the Scout is trustworthy is the first point of the Scout law for a very good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably not only because of the honor is important to him, but because of the vital significance of the example, that he sets for other Scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on his home, his church, his community, his troop. May the white down the center of this badge remind you that you are always to live with honor. The second responsibility of the Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to his family, leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to his troop and brother Scouts makes him pitch in and carry his share of the load. All of these help to build the loyalty, which means devotion to community, to country, to one's ideals, and to God. May the blue here on the left side of your badge always inspire your loyalty. The third obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage. Dr. Middlestad mentioned being brave. You might be afraid, but do the right thing. Courage is the quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a Scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for his rights, and I add, for the rights of others. Trusting in God with faith in his fellow citizen, he looks forward to each day, seeking his share of the world's work. May the red on the right-hand side of your Eagle badge always remind you of courage. The fourth obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be cheerful, to remind the Eagle Scout to wear a smile. The red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second-class Scout Award, which has its ends turned up in a smile. The final responsibility of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle extends a helping hand to those who still toil up the scouting trail, just as others helped him in his climb to Eagle. The performance of a daily good turn lends new meaning when he extends on to, or you enter into adult life of continuing service to others. The Eagle stands as the protector of the weak and the helpless. He aids and comforts the unfortunate and the oppressed. He upholds the rights of others while defending his own. He is always prepared to put forth his best. You are deserving of much credit, Jason, in having achieved Scouting's highest rank. Wear this award with humility, ever mindful that the Eagle Scout is looked up to as an example. May the Scout Oath and Law be your guide tomorrow and onward. Jason, you've done this hundreds of times. It's your turn to do it all alone. Your dad gave the Scout Law in his letter, but I'd like for you to stand up and give the Scout sign. And instead of saying a Scout is, I would like for you to say I am, and then give the Scout Law.
I am trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Very good. You passed the final test. You all can sit down. Dad, I guess I want to say a couple of things real quickly, if I may. I've heard it said before that when you achieve certain goals, that you become a marked man, and that's true of Eagle. People will look at you differently when you say, "Yes, I am an Eagle Scout." My turn to get emotional. As I was going through scouting, one man influenced my life, and that was my scoutmaster. It was 18 years ago this past week that he was killed in a car wreck. And it just really hit me hard. You know, I'm not asking you to look up to a scoutmaster. What I'm looking you to do is look up to the ideals, because when I went to troop meetings, this fellow was always there, and if he wasn't, then he had the plan. But he believed that young men could achieve. That if they're given the toolbox that they need to face life, then they can always go open that box and find the piece that they need and succeed. And it was his example that I try to emulate each and every troop meeting. And it's a hard thing to do sometimes. But I'm not perfect. No one is. But he gave me this coin purse, and he said, keep mementos in here. Keep things that are important to you. And with each and every Eagle Scout that earns Eagle in this troop, it's a small amount, and it probably doesn't mean much. You'll put it in the box, maybe a cigar box or something in the corner. But it does say, once an Eagle, always an Eagle. And I think that's really important, that even if we do mess up, we don't make that 4.0 in college or, whatever else, or if we get a speeding ticket, we're not a good example for people. We do pick ourselves back up and move forward. And we always keep in mind that I am a man of character and that others are watching. Today we have a lot of older scouts with us, but as you move forward, there'll be a whole lot of younger people, whether it's in your church, whether it's with family, whether it's with scouts, or whatever other groups are going to be eyeballing you. And you've grown taller in stature, so some people can help but look up to you physically, but it'll also be literally. I'm proud of what you've achieved, very proud. I remember these outings that your dad was writing about, going to summer camp and such, and I could always count on you for the right thing, and that means a tremendous amount. I was very happy to sign your book to your Scoutmaster Conference. There was never a doubt in my mind that you are an Eagle Scout. All right, let's get to the good stuff. So come on up here, all three of you, please. If you would please pin the rank of Eagle on Jason's left pocket, if you can find them. Dad, why don't we take off that one first, so they have both hands free. Taking off the green silk troop neckerchief, which has served you well. Your parents have seen fit to make sure that you have a very nice embroidered Eagle Scout neckerchief to wear on into the future. So, Jason, you had some presentations to make for Mom. It's your turn, man.
Being presented with the Eagle rank is something that means a whole lot to me, both in terms of who I've become because of Scouts and in terms of everything that's been put into my getting to this point. But and it represents a lot of what I've personally committed myself to over the last 9 years. But this rank doesn't just stand for things that I've done to get here. It also represents the support and dedication of lots and lots of people who've made my path to this point a relatively smooth one, and they all deserve to be recognized for this as much as I do, because if it weren't for the tremendous amount of help that I've received, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere near this point in Scouts. So with that, I'd like to start by thanking two of the people who helped me through all the challenges that have come my way in and out of Scouts, and those are my parents. So for my mom, even though she likes to deny that she had a lot to do with my progression through Boy Scouts, she's been hugely important to my success. She's been incredibly supportive of all the things I've done with the troop, and she's the one who has helped me balance Boy Scouts in school and sports and all my other endeavors through the years. And to add to all that, she's also helped me look at the big picture when I was struggling with all sorts of things at different times during my scouting career. And finally, I want to thank her for the huge amount of hours that she put into making this Court of Honor happen, because she put a ton of effort and everything into making this a good experience for everyone. So thank you, Mom, and you should all go tell her this at some point too, because she did so much to make this happen. As for my dad, he's been a huge part of why I've stuck with Scouts for as long as I have, and he's been really instrumental in helping me do everything that I've needed to get where I am now. He's been at nearly every meeting and every excursion and every summer camp since I was little, and he's really been the driving force behind almost every step that I've taken in Boy Scouts. He's provided me with guidance in everything from how to lead meetings as a senior patrol leader to how to finish requirements for merit badges and things like what was the best plan of action for planning campouts. And I don't know how I would have done any of this without his help. So I also got him for him. So along with my parents, there's lots of other people who played a part in me getting to this point. In fact, everyone sitting here today has had at least some small part in supporting me either in Scouts specifically or just in my time during my life during Scouts. And so thank you everyone to everything you've done to help me get here. There are a few people I'd like to specifically say thank you to for helping me become an Eagle Scout. First, thank you to all the adults in the troop who have shown me the way and served on board's review and helped me guide me through all my challenges in Scouts. Also, thank you to all the current and past members of Troop 137 for being the supportive community that's needed to create an Eagle Scout and for making the experience a really unforgettable and enjoyable one rather than a burden. Next, a big thank you to all of the boys and leaders who helped work on my Eagle project last summer. All of you did a tremendously good job carrying out the project, and it's because of each of you and your selfless attitudes that the project went as smoothly as it did and created such a fantastic result. I hope all of you enjoyed the experience as much as I did, because it was awesome to see all of you volunteer your time towards that kind of need. And to go along with that, neither of them could make it today, but I want to give a special thank you to Bruce Embry and Shonda Ziegler, because both of them were a huge part of my success with the project, and there's no way I would have been able to pull it off without the help both of them gave me during the process. And next I want to say thank you to my sister and each of my grandparents and all the rest of my family for being so supportive of my experience with Scouting throughout the years, and for coming here today to celebrate with me. And finally, I'd like to say thank you to a few special people from the troop who were especially supportive of me during my time with Scouts and who provided me with all the guidance that I needed to get through it. Each of the people I'm about to mention was extremely helpful to me as I went through scouting, and I'll always remember all of the advice that I got from them and the example they set for me. They're all extraordinary people who I look up to and strive to be like, and that's why I chose to give one of these special mentor pins to each of them. So I have one for Tim Painter, who couldn't be here today, but I also have one for Mr. Ben Jordan, and I have one for Dr. Beauvais. So if both of you could come join me up here. After giving each one of these.
You did a fine job, Jason. Very good. Well, there's a reception downstairs, is that correct? For when we're done. At this time, I'd like for Mr. Ricks to come back up and offer our benediction.
Let's pray. And Father, we just thank you for this day. What a joy it is to be here with Jason and his family and friends and truth. God, we celebrate him. We celebrate the accomplishment of achieving Eagle Scout. But more than that, we celebrate the young man that you're growing him to be, or that he does just demonstrate leadership and courage and loyalty and all the things on this list. And we know that that will continue to serve him well as he grows and as he loves and serves other people in the future. God, we pray that you continue to be with him, that you show him faithfulness as you guide his steps through the rest of high school and college, and as you lead him into whatever you have in the future. We know you're going to do great things in and through him. So we commit him to you. Lord, we pray that his life and his service will be a blessing to you and to other people. So God, as we go from here, we pray that you dismiss us in your grace and peace. In Jesus' name.
So would our color guard please form and retrieve our flags.
Please stand, please rise. Color guard forward march. Color guard, please retrieve the colors. Scout salute. Two.
Thank you, and we'll see you downstairs.
Can I say two things really quick? But just while I have a captive audience, in honor of Jason wanted to do this outside, but, you drove up in rain, I guess, and so, we had to do it in here. But also in honor of scouting and everything it represents, we have s'mores, but we're not gonna do it around the fire, obviously. But there are sternos on the tables downstairs with matches, and, if you need help getting those lit, but go ahead and light them. There's marshmallows in there, there's all the supplies you need, but, I just want you to be aware that the kids be careful, don't get matches. And the guest book, if you haven't signed the guest book, it's on this table back here, but we'll bring it downstairs. But that's also a whole photo album. It has his Eagle Scout project in there, and so feel free to take it. And thank you.